G'day, doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. Welcome to my second podcast. It is still a very amateur production, but we're working on things. Well, I'm working on things. I hope to have some couple other people on here at some point, so you get to see some much better heads than mine. But it's the head I've been given, so I might as well just be proud of it. Anyway, what's going to be on today? We're going to go through the Team Tuesday announcement to the despair of a few fans. So I'll bring that up. That'll be rolling across the screen. You'll see the first grade in New South Wales Cup sides that have been named. Talk about that. We'll see the player ratings from yesterday, probably the lowest ratings I've given all year. And I'll also give you the team that I would pick for Sunday's important match against the Sharks. Every match is important for us, whether in contention or not, as we are a rebuilding club who's had to start again too many times. Look, I'm also going to have a little visit from a special guest at the end of the show. Don't worry, it's not anyone from the Bulldogs or anything like that. But this person, a few of you will know who they are, and they're not very happy, is all I can say. And you'll hear from them as well. So that'll be good. I'll bring them on later on. So let's talk about Team Tuesday. Look, they've named pretty much the same side, except Braden Burns comes in for the Fox, who's made Origin. Congratulations, Fox. I think there will be some more changes. It's only been since yesterday to get the team out. Skelton and Flanagan haven't been named in the New South Wales Cup team, so you'll see that scrolling along the bottom. That would mean that there's a big chance that they could play on Sunday versus the Sharks, but I'm sure we'll know. I'm not too sure of what the changes will be. Rather than speculate too much, I'm going to just give you the team that I would pick. And obviously there's some players on notice and some things are happening in the background. So we've got Blake Wilson playing fullback. We saw that he unseated Joash Papali'i, who was playing quite well in that position, but you sort of just get the impression that Joash was never going to be playing first grade this season. Not to say that he's not up to it at some point to get a taste, but I think they realise that Wilson can handle the contact and he's got the speed and he's not far off first grade, so they've probably put him back into fullback to see what he can do, having played time there last year for the Capras. You'd expect that Wilson could be putting pressure on Perham very, very shortly, but they want to play him there for another week. Burns was limping off the other day, so he may too be under an injury cloud again. So unfortunate because he had an absolute blinder on the weekend, but Para were horrible in New South Wales Cup. That was the worst team I've seen playing in a long time. And I've watched some pretty poor Bulldogs performances, don't you worry. But that New South Wales Cup team from Para, horrible. We put a job on them, and so we should have. Look, so we can see that we've got Pele on the extended bench, New Browns on the extended bench. You've got Topine and Flanagan and Skelton come in at first drop. I'm not sure he's going to drop Rajab, so I think he's going to stay. But I honestly think if we want to look at winning games, they've got to pick Oluwapu or Rajab, one of the two. As much as Oluwapu tried, and I love what Rajab brings, honestly do. I honestly think he's probably more ready than Oluwapu, to be honest. Not so much in the defensive contact, but in the way he goes about creating is just very, very impressive. Oluwapu, I don't feel, is playing his natural game. We saw a little bit of that running near the line, got a good try, tackle busts, done that a few times in New South Wales Cup. And I can see they're trying to manufacture a half there. I just don't know if that's the go. But we have to see. We have to wait and see. Not everyone's going to agree with my thoughts on it. But first of all, what I'm going to do is give you the player ratings from last week or from Monday. Probably my worst ratings that I've given in a very, very long time. So here they come up. So there you go. Who have we got? So Perham a 5.5, Carraz a 6. I felt Carraz is trying hard. He's just not quite at that level yet that he was. Alamotti missed a lot of tackles yesterday and he looks very, very tired. Addo some really poor, lacking composure. Olawapu tried hard, missed 7 tackles. Burton missed too many tackles. Tavita Pangai Jr., those 2 plays were selfish. Marnie, no composure whatsoever. Patolo, pretty good on his first game back. The Ockmate missed too many tackles out wide. Preston was by far our best player, but did miss a few tackles under fatigue, trying to do it all. Edwards was behind the 8 ball this week. King, he's playing busted. Moran tried hard, got knocked over a few times. And Corey Waddell, I felt his energy was quite good, but again, he just missed a heap of tackles. So there you go. That's the ratings. They flash up pretty quick. The tail of the tape. We started the game really well. We looked like we were going to do something in that game. If you watch the first 20 minutes, the try against us was unlucky. But I think we set ourselves up for failure from the beginning. The first set, Tavita actually did a really good offload. First set of the game, confident to offload. Obviously wanting to prove a point. Probably knew he was out of Origin. And maybe it was a selfish play, but he got the ball to Marnie backing up. And he made plenty of ground through the middle. It was only 4th tackle. That was tackle 3, onto the 4th. And they go wide with a predetermined play for Olawapu to kick. He kicks the ball, caught on the 20-metre line on the full, so not deep enough. And then, they start on our 35-metre off their first hit up in first set. And we had an opportunity to kick the ball from inside their half and have an attacking kick and put them deep down. Now, to me, that's through trying to manufacture a half. And that was just how we started. After that, there was a bit of grind and we were spreading the ball one side to the other. That's a Mick Potter thing. I saw that a lot under Mick Potter. And it's designed to try and, to gas the opposition with big forward packs with Regan Campbell-Gillard and Junior Paulo. So, that first try, they got the repeat set after about 3 sets in the grind, which was pretty even, I felt. Then we come back, played some enterprising play, wasted a heap of opportunities before levelling up at 6-all. I think after 20 minutes, we led the line breaks 4 or 5-1 and made a couple more for the rest of the game, maybe 2 or 3 more for the rest of the game. The issue was a complete lack of composure from our spine, and they didn't learn from the previous week, as I said, and again it happened. So not happy at all. Tavita's selfishness in the ruck. Look, he's chasing out. I don't like being critical, especially of a player like Tavita. I wouldn't want to be critical to his face. I love what he can do at his best, but we see this too often. But he got no support either. So there was no one backing him up or defending him. But the first rule is like Josh Reynolds was on NRL 360 tonight. He said it's one of their principles to chase hard on the kicks. And maybe they need someone who's, not going to be stepped around so easily. I don't know. He was there, he chased, and he was exposed twice. So we've got to put it behind us. We need Tavita. There's no one else to replace him with at the moment. If you got Thompson or Kickow in the side, you can probably give Tavita a rest in New South Wales Cup. But the 2 previous games were fantastic. That one was horrible from that point of view. He did some other good things in the match, but those 2 plays, in effect, cost us the game, in my opinion. We're down 18-6 after that. Game's gone. Front, I don't know what you call them, but when they're in front and playing like that, that's what happens. The disappointing thing is they missed 36 tackles as well. And we made more line breaks. We had more tackle busts. And we had more sets with the footy and more opportunities with our hands on the ball, but wasted it on the first or second tackle with rush kicks. Happens too often. And it's been happening all year. We need our captain to show a little bit more composure than he's been showing. And And that's both captains, actually. Sometimes they just need to grind it out a little bit and build some pressure. And while I love the heads-up mentality to pull the trigger and then pull it again, it's a no-fear approach. In the first 20 minutes of the game, to do that 3 or 4 times, when there was a chance to really put their Parramatta's defence under the pump, they just didn't do it. And then overplayed our hand and gave up too much ground, which I wasn't happy with at all. Anyway, we've talked a lot about that game. Now onto the team selection. So we're going to go through who I would pick. It's going to flash up pretty quickly, but I'll bring that up now. For this week, oh, sorry, that's the ratings. Oh, no, I'll bring it up again. Sorry about that. Technical issue. All right, so I'm going to stick with Perham for another week until we've got Wilson ready. Carraz, he stays on the wing. He'll get better for the run. Avarillo, too important. I'm bringing Braden Burns into the centres and Gerald Skelton onto the wing. I'm giving Paul Alamotti a break. I just think he's done a lot of tough stuff for a rookie and he just needs a little break in New South Wales Cup. That's all. Tavita keeps his spot with Marnie. Bartolo, I thought he can leverage off that. Wasn't too bad his first up. Going to bring Waddell into the second row with Preston. I just think it's a tougher pack to start with. And I need to bring New Brown into the team. He deserves his shot and he's playing tough. I'm going to bring Kyle into the side as well for the same reasons. Harrison Edwards back to the bench. He was a bit flat on the weekend, and the Ock back to the bench as well, with Franklin Pele elevated into the side. Now, Big Frank, the tank, played 50 minutes on the weekend. I thought it was like 35, but it was actually 50. They kept him on the field. And, look, the opposition had 35% possession for the whole game. So Frank made 14 tackles. He was gassed a long time before then, but they needed to keep him on the field in that type of game because it just enables him to get a little bit of that stamina into his game. But nothing would beat playing first grade and playing tougher minutes in first grade. That beats that every time. But look, his stats were awesome, but a good side would have exposed his lack of fitness in defence because he was struggling to get back. He had no missed tackles or anything like that, but they didn't run to the spaces where he was. Like, I couldn't believe Parramatta. They played with their heads down. They were Ron Massey Cup level, in my opinion, and I don't rate them at all. The way they played, they've got a lot of work to do. I think their depth severely tested. Players like Sean Lane are missing, and with Brown leaving their side, it was just never going to happen. But look, Pele did a good job, and he's came back after suspension, and I expect him back in the first grade side pretty quick. I'd be prepared to put him there now. And a couple of mates of mine think that he should start, and they were saying Willie Mason said that as well. So getting that intensity to start for 15 minutes and see how he goes, and once he's puffed out, bring someone else on to get the job done, make sure that there's no holes in the attack. But look, the side that I've just picked there, and I'll put it up again. I think New Brown is an important signing, not a signing, but an important person to bring in. I just think he's playing with good energy. He's playing tough, and I think he's a player that tackles well around the ruck, and he's also got good leg speed, and he can pass as good as anyone, being a hooker who can play middle. So I'm putting him there for sure. And having Flanagan on the bench, just with his variation, to give him another crack at first grade, and to have that other option as a half and a hooker. And I think to give Marnie a break and have Marnie play at a higher level for less minutes and to play to a hooker option is something that they could entertain and change and do. I really love Rajab, though. It was hard to make that decision, and I don't think he'll be left out anyway. I really think we need to bring Ockenbaugh back to the bench. He's missing too many tackles. Marnie saved his butt a couple of times in the last 2 games, and I really think that that Jaden's best served to play that impact role that he was playing and to play less minutes. 80 minutes for him out on that edge. And I think he played a bit of middle in the game on the weekend as well. So he moved around a bit. But, yeah, I just see too many defensive lapses in him. And, his legs are getting tired as well. Look, they're trying to improve the players individually, but I'm not sure if I think there's better options there. I like him as a bench forward now, and I think they should keep utilising him in that way. Looking forward to getting some star quality back into our side at some point. But look, Jaden's done a good job, and I feel he's improved a lot. I feel his contact's getting better every game. But 80 minutes on an edge in first grade is a big step up from where he was being on the wing, and he knows it. I don't think he values it, but I just don't think we are best served in that capacity. I would rather put a Waddell out there every day, and even Corey Waddell probably hasn't hit the heights he's needed to hit over the last 3 years, but he does try hard. I give him that, and I've got no real massive criticism of him. I felt he tried hard on the weekend as well, but again, we need more. We need more from all our team. All right, so that's what we've got there. I hope to see a few changes. I think it would be imperative. Oh, the other one was Paul Alamotti. Now young Alamotti's copped a lot of criticism for a rookie who's 19 and never played NRL before. I feel that some of his carries have been brilliant. He may have only made 10 metres or 8 metres getting smashed by, off the first hit up out off our own try line, but he's given it 100%. He's not turning it up at all. And look, the way that they're playing the game is Averillo's doing more of the fancy stuff and the fresh stuff and the Hollywood stuff. And that's what he's good at. I don't mind that, but I'd like to see more balance across the way they utilise the back five. I think they're playing to their strengths, but at the same time, I'd like to see a situation where you've got everyone putting in and doing the work to help out. And I really think that Burns and Skelton could add something while the Fox is away. Give Alamotti a break as well. And let's give Skelton his opportunity. I think he deserves it. I think he's earned it. I don't believe there's an issue with Skelton either. I think he's being, developed very, very purposefully. I think there's a real purpose behind how they're developing him, with the notion that he will play a fair bit of NRL next year. I think that will be what they're aiming for, and I think you'll see a bit of this kid over the remaining games of the season. So that's what I hope happens. It's just going to be a case of when, and hopefully sooner rather than later, especially for fans who are pretty angry about it all. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. I'm going to sign off, but I'm going to give you a special guest to hear from right now. He's going to come and say hello. So welcome to the Dogfather.
Hello, my Bulldogs family. This won't take long. Tavita's currently in the hole till further notice. Hopefully he'll play like the man we paid for in the game against the Sharks. He's an enemy. Royce Hunt won't be there. But Tavita better be there with his mind, body, and spirit. Because I'm getting rather impatient, as I'm sure the people are as well. He played well the last 2 weeks, and then against our arch rivals, he played like a sook. Yeah, he went after the game. Yes, he was putting in an effort, but he played like a dumb 5-year-old, chasing after his dummy. And he got shown up by men who stepped around him and then made the rest of our team look like pedestrians as they just walk through our front line, and I won't stand for it much longer. The defense hasn't been up to scratch in the last few weeks. I forgive some of the performances with circumstance, and the team is a little bit busted. I do not doubt that. But we need our senior players to play with some composure. Now, Mr. Ciraldo has named 2 captains, and both of them played like bastards on the weekend. I don't give a fuck about the effort anymore. Mr. Marnie, Mr. Burton, you need to play with composure. And that young Mr. Parham, you better find a way to make some things happen with your other players. These things must start to occur. I have had enough. Tavita will be in the hole until I release him later in the week, and then he better play like the player that played the previous 2 matches, not the Tavita we saw against Parramatta that didn't give a fuck about his teammates and left them exposed. In saying that, those teammates didn't do enough to protect whatever he was fucking thinking. It's a team sport, but a player of Tavita's on huge money, and I expect him to fucking play like it. Now, I hope everyone understands they're on fucking notice. Because if Mr. Ciraldo don't start making some changes soon, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. Unless the team starts winning, then it all goes away, and this sombrero can stay hidden for another day. And anyone wondering about the sombrero? Well, I've been having a couple of interviews with a couple of players. So if the team that's there at the moment don't get their fucking act together, well, I might have to bring in some players who will. Thank you for listening. Go the Dogs.
Well, there he is, the dog father. He's not very happy. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I hope it was all right. Sort of hard doing it in one take, but, just doing my best. Just doing my best. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe if you wish. And I hope the dogs do a lot better this week, and I hope we see a couple of those changes. I think Mr. Ciraldo probably needs to do that because some of the fans are getting a bit frustrated. But I do think he's a great coach, or will be a great coach. I think he's not a bad for a rookie. Don't always agree or understand every decision that he's made, but I think some of the decisions he's made will pay off in the long run. Well, what else? What else is there if they don't? We've got to have faith. We've got to stick true because, we can start again in another year and then start again in another year. It hasn't worked the last few, so might as well stay the course, I reckon. There's been quite a few. It's been diabolical, a lot of the retention and recruitment for a long time. And it's still definitely not perfect, but it is getting better. But we do need a couple more players into our squad. So hopefully the dog father's chatting with some good players like a Ben Hunt, paying us maybe. Let's hope so. All right. Go the Dogs, and thank you so much.